What's up? You're watching HIVEMIND, the most nutritious, elaborate, electrifying, most sedentary, vicious, aquatic, inquisitive, devastating, certified, handsome, resourceful show on the internet. My name is Riley Zosenbrook. Delicious, nutritious, territorial, vacuous, fiery, tragic, sedentary, skeletal, valid, crafty, debonair, co-host Graydon.
Do you guys want to say what you do for work in case somebody doesn't know, but probably everyone knows?
Sure. It's a YouTube channel, and we talk about music, but we also tell jokes.
We pal around.
Yeah,
a little bit.
and we're best friends.
Yeah.
And we've been best friends for a long time, and we've been doing YouTube for like 5 years.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
But you guys, obviously, you're bringing something incredibly unique to kind of, I don't know, the rap content game. You're not even doing rap content. You guys are like comedians who use music as a backdrop. Is that accurate?
Someone gets it.
Yeah. Someone finally gets it.
Yeah.
There
exactly.
we go.
Yeah. I mean, it is music-based content for sure, and a lot of it has to do with rap, but we always get critiqued for like talking too much or making the jokes too much of it. And we're like, that's the point.
That's the whole
I
point.
promise you, it's the point. Yeah.
But
So the channel started in 2017. I did it as a school project, so I guess that would be
that's basically how mine started too.
Yeah, I went to graphic design school and I did like branding stuff. And so I was branding the channel as my final project, and then we just kept doing it from there. So I started it as a thesis project for college for graphic design. So I was just like branding it. I wanted to brand a YouTube show. It was kind of like I researched like attention spans and stuff, try to like break up longer content into smaller content. And then I was doing that about music, and I was living with Graydon and was like, you should be my co-host. And he was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was trapping and rapping. So it actually worked
Right.
out.
Yeah.
It kind of fit, and I was going to use it as a stepping stone for my music career.
Right.
And then I said some stuff that you can't say, so I kind of pivoted.
Oh, what was that?
It was just like hot takes, political stuff. and-
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, we do hot takes on here,
Yeah.
but like celebrity gossip kind of thing.
Oh, mine was more
Yeah.
like anti-immigrant stuff.
Right.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it started as like an interview show. That was the idea for it.
To
was
interview people, strictly?
People. Yeah. And like our third interview ever ended up being with a collective of rappers and videographers and producers in Cincinnati, and one of them ended up being Josiah. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about him. How
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
meet him? You just randomly connected?
yeah, literally our third interview ever. I just like saw a video of his and was like, this is sick. And there was a collective behind it. And Grant, who's sitting behind camera right now, was the videographer. And so I hit them up and was like, yo, let's do an interview. And we went down there, interviewed him, like hit it off, became friends.
Yeah.
And then they were doing all his music videos, and then he just blew up. He got signed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
He had-
way bigger.
he had 1,000 followers on SoundCloud. And
Oh my God, dude.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wait,
Yeah.
so when was this?
This was 2018.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
That's
was like
crazy.
his big year, wasn't it? 2019-ish?
2018, 2019 were both
Yeah.
big. Yeah.
That's crazy. So he does the videos, music videos?
Yeah.
And
he
you do
shoots
the-
music videos.
Like illustration?
Yeah.
And he shoots them, okay. Okay, so you have like a 4-person little group here?
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
So you were doing this in Detroit already, or you were doing it at your school?
I did it at school as the project, and then when I graduated, I moved to Detroit pretty much right away, and then he moved there a year later.
Yeah.
So we were barely making much content that first year.
Right. I was like commuting from Cincy to Detroit to interview some random person. I'd be like, oh, we got an interview lined up for this person. I would
Like
drive up to
local
Detroit.
artists,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. I mean, some random big ones, like we interviewed Bobby Caldwell in
What
like,
you won't do for love.
like an R&B soul sensation from the 70s.
The name sounds familiar.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah.
Like Billboard top 10 hit, the song that we were just singing.
So it like wasn't like a SoundCloud underground rap thing
No.
at first. You were like, we're going to be Larry King, we're going to be Anthony fucking Fantano, we're going to interview artists.
Yeah, but it was a mix of all of that. I mean, we were into SoundCloud, underground SoundCloud rap. We were into, indie. I was into Run for Cover record stuff. I was into Tiny Engines, and I was trying to find anything that I thought was cool, show that to Graydon, somehow get in front of those artists and make a meaningful piece of content. And I don't think we did a very good job at first.
Yeah.
Like, there's some stuff out there, but I just watch it and I'm like, oh my God, what were we thinking? I mean, we started off doing like interviews with artists.
Yeah,
that
I'd
was
say,
our
like,
first thing.
The conception was like very journalistic almost.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, I grew up watching like Fantano was a huge
Right.
thing for me growing up. Nardwuar interviews, all of that. That was definitely what was informing it the most. Yeah.
Like we liked like Larry David and Letterman and Anthony Fantano and stuff like that.
You meant
And then-
Larry King, didn't you?
Yeah,
You meant
I
Larry.
love Larry David though. Don't get me wrong. Yeah,
You're a big Larry King guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Both guys that wear diapers. So.
Larry King is passed. He's since passed.
He's still in a diaper, I assume. He buried
Still
him in
alive?
his
He's still
favorite
alive,
diaper.
right?
But yeah, then it kind of devolved into evolved rather into comedy.
Got it.
So
Yeah, I think just like sitting down at a desk and doing it for that amount of time, we like naturally liked joking around that it ended up just being that. And we also didn't want to rely on having a guest every time to like do any sort of content. So we kind of were like, okay, let's try to just it be you and me and let's see what we can make. And so it went through a lot of different changes. And then the big thing that took off for us was mostly games. In like 2020, we were doing a lot of like guess the rapper from this or guess the artist from their related artist on Spotify, like a lot of music games that then served as kind of background for us to just tell jokes. But we always talked about doing like some comedy something, but it was always very vague.
Yeah.
We just needed to find an arena for it. That's why we started the thing, was like,
Right.
how can we joke around on camera, but I don't know, have there be like a catch and interest instead of just trying to be two guys talking on camera about whatever,
We like loved Eric Andre and
Right.
like that kind
Right.
of Tim and Eric, like this dry kind of like, is this serious? Is this weird? Is this like it's like once you're in on the joke, then it's really funny.
Even speaking to you guys, I don't know like what's a joke and what's not.
Yeah.
Were you always like that? Is it something that did like were you in like drama class in high school, or did you take improv in college? Like where did it come from?
It is like the thing he was talking about. Our arena was like parties, like
Yeah.
social situations. We would just like elaborate lies and build off of that, bit after bit
Yeah.
after bit, like
Just like natural
constantly.
smartasses.
Yeah.
They like wanted to make the joke about the whatever person wouldn't get the joke in the room, and then we'd be there. And if a few people got the joke and we could clown someone else, well, without them not getting the joke, like that was the fun in it. You know what I mean?
It sounds so mean when you put
Yeah,
it that
but
way.
it's like, I don't know.
What was the first moment of the channel where you were like, oh, this is working and we're on to something?
The first video that did well was one of those 5 hottest in the underground videos.
Yeah.
So it was one with NASCAR Aloe in it, and it just started to like make its rounds in the YouTube algorithm, show up on people's recommended. And that happened probably like a week after we dropped it. And then we did the cartoon puns video, the first one, and it was out for a month and had 1,000 views. And then randomly one day, I was like out doing something with my family. I was visiting my mom, and I came home and opened my laptop, and it was like, you've gotten 10,000 views in the past 24 hours.
Wow.
And I went and looked at it and was like, what's going on? And then the next day it had like 50K.
Wow.
And the next video, like it had 150K like a week later. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to do the second one. And I had already drawn all of the cartoons for the second one. So we dropped that one, and that one blew up too.
Was the competition like of like trying to grow? Like, how did you guys
Yeah,
really
so
try
early
and
on.
like?
Oh, the
Yeah.
first 3 years were like nothing. Like it was like 100 views every
yeah.
video.
Yeah, yes,
And
yeah.
we were putting out videos like
It's like our
every
Vines.
like
Yeah,
two,
it was like our vibes. Yeah,
yeah, like 2 a week. And I was still editing them. I was still doing it like full time, but just like not making rent or like barely making rent on like, doing posters or cover art for people because I'm
were
like a
pushing
graphic
weight.
designer. And we were pushing weight as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We were selling like a lot of stuff. stuff.
through the YouTube
know?
videos.
You guys
yeah.
started OnlyFans before OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Right.
hard VHSs.
Yeah.
Came with every merch order. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. This was 2016.
This is pre-internet, essentially.
But yeah, so then we just did that for a while, and then my favorite month of all time, March 2020, came around.
Oh hell yeah!
You know,
Sweet
The
month.
peak, honestly, the peak of internet because everyone was just diving in,
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
on their phones constantly.
that's literally the first month that we saw any significant growth, and it was like, oh, this might work. And then we just like since then have been doing it. Yeah,
I need more of that from you too.
Uh-huh.
Less jokes,
Yeah.
funny guys.
Yep. 2 years ago, there's a bunch of it on our channel if you want to go back, and it is not funny.
I do remember those videos. It would be like the top 5 underground songs or something.
Yeah. That segment I still really like
Yeah.
because that's another one that just it came from real life. Like Graydon and I used to sit and I would show him some songs and explain stuff that I knew about it, and then he'd be like, "Oh, this is cool," or "I don't like this," or whatever it is, and I got to do that in like a casual social setting, and then we just made a segment out of it. So.
What does the name mean, and where does it come from?
It's a science fiction term.
HIVEMIND.
Yeah.
Should we tell the actual story?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We usually lie.
We
This
lie
will
about a lot of
be
stuff.
its own segment. You know, like I'm going to cut this into a highlight, and
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is the one that's going to get 1 million views.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
So,
Okay. So let me set the scene for you.
Yes.
Oh wait, no. You can ask it if you want the.
so. I don't know.
It's natural. Don't worry.
Where does the name HIVEMIND come from?
Okay. So let me set the scene for you. What year was it? 2015.
2016 going into 2017 New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Red
okay.
River Gorge, Kentucky.
Yes.
Yurt. Circular cabin.
Is this a real story?
This is
or is
real.
It,
This,
okay,
this
okay,
is the
perfect,
real one.
Perfect.
Do you know what a yurt is?
Yes, I stayed in one in Washington.
Perfect.
Well, you point at us.
Like,
Got it.
I
Got
thought you guys read my journal back there when I went to the store. No, you didn't.
So yeah, we have a big group of friends that we grew up with, basically from.
Wow, cool guy over
listen,
here.
listen, we got a big group of friends, a lot of friends, us. So we have them anyway. So like we grew up together ever since we were like 14. We've been hanging out with the same group of friends. So 2016 going into 2017, New Year's Eve, we went to this yurt in the Red River Gorge in Kentucky, and a few of us had consumed some psychedelic drugs of
Not the natural kind either.
right, the synthetic kind. I was not partaking in that. I was like the babysitter basically. And we're all hanging out in this yurt, and eventually it gets to that kind of giggly weird place or whatever. And they're all talking kind of vaguely and abstractly about how we have to put our creative minds together. Like we're friends, but we got to do something. Like we got to really tap in. And so they kept saying two things. They kept saying, one, we need to take down the firewall, and two, we need to connect to the hive mind. That's what they were saying the whole time.
It's like a buzzword, you know?
Yeah. So they just kept being like, we got to connect to the hive mind. It's about the hive mind. And they're just giggling on the floor, and I'm just sober, but part of it, like I was there, you know?
Laughing.
I was laughing. And then we started a group chat right after that and called it Hive Mind. And it was just a big group of our friends, and it was just called Hive Mind. So then when I was making this thesis project for school, I had all these other names, and that one just made the most sense. And I asked them, I was like, should I just call it Hive Mind? And then they were like, yeah. So that's how it became.
Wow.
An LSD trip in the Red River Gorge.
But it was fake LSD.
No, I was like, it wasn't mushrooms. It was real LSD.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about, it was that thing that was really
2CB.
popular? Spice?
Spice. What
Yeah.
are we saying? K2.
K2.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
it's
it was,
like
it was
fake
not
weed.
K2.
It was not K2 or salvia.
Yeah, basically, at the end of graphic design school, we got to do this big thesis project, and I wanted to do something video-based, something in the music content space. That was the whole thing I was going for, and I started to brand it. I started to come up with names for it and everything, and then I just asked Graydon if he would be a part of it with me. And I see that you just pulled out.
Yes.
That's- yeah.
So what was the inspiration for wanting to do it? Like, because it's one thing, you're a graphic designer, you're making cool shit like this, and then you're like, we're just going to go full force into a YouTube channel.
It was gradual. Like at the time, I came up with it as just like, oh, it's like a research project. Like, how can I break down what's interesting about the content that I watch, and how can I account for shorter attention spans of new viewers on YouTube? How can I make something in the music space that isn't the same as everything else that I'm watching, but instead uses that stuff and uses research to make something that fits in that space in a niche that doesn't exist yet. And so that was the idea as like a concept. And then it took like 2 years to get good at it. And so I was basically doing it with Graydon. We'd sit down, we'd still joke around and all that, but it was very slipshod, slapdash, like we weren't that good at it yet. And then as it got better and gained more attention, then we started to like actually take it seriously, where we like think about it as, let's make this the best that we can make it, you know?
I mean, we started off doing like interviews with artists.
Yeah,
that was our first thing.
The conception was like very journalistic almost. Like we liked like Larry David and Letterman and Anthony Fantano and stuff like that.
You meant Larry King, didn't you?
Yeah.
You meant
I
Larry.
love Larry David though, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
You're a big Larry King guy.
Yeah. Both guys that wear diapers. So.
Larry King is past. He's since passed.
He's still in a diaper, I assume. They buried
Still
him in
alive?
his
He's still
favorite
alive,
diaper.
right?
Yeah. But I mean, obviously I grew up watching, like Fantano was a huge
Right.
thing for me growing up, Nardwuar interviews, all of that. That was definitely what was informing it the most. Yeah.
But yeah, then it kind of devolved